22 NOBULL CrossFit Games, and we are inside the Coliseum at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram. Mike Arsenault is down on the competition floor, and for the first time since 2014, we are finishing with a twist on a benchmark.
A benchmark we've seen at the regional level, but we're beefing it up. A classic benchmark test called Jackie, the 1,000-meter row bind, 50 thrusters, a little bit heavier weight, but finishing with bar muscle-ups. But the trick is at the start. Be smart when you get there, and whatever you got left, that last bar muscle-up, that'll be the last one you can possibly do.
3 heats of 10 men. Before we get to that, let's send it to Mike Arsenault.
Yes, as Chase was mentioning, there's a wrinkle to this pro version of Jackie. Yes, these athletes are at the row 1,000 meters. However, they have to complete that row within 3 minutes and 15 seconds on the dot. So we'll see the 1,000 go down to 0. And for the 1,000 meters, they're going to have to hold a pace around 137 and below for the entirety of the 1,000 meters before they can move on to the thrusters and then finally the bar muscle-ups.
But when it comes to machines, Tim Paulson in lane 7, we know that he can go to a much different place than a lot of people on those
we
things.
saw that on display on the Echo Press Friday night, but he's also a fantastic rower. And there's a tale of two athletes a little bit in here. If you're a specialist in one area or the other, Tim's gonna be good on the row, but we saw him, he's definitely good with a barbell as well. This is an event that shakes up well for him, but there's just a lot of fit guys in this heat. It's anybody's game.
Kick things off with that 1,000-meter row, and talking to Adrian Bosman about this event, he wanted to force the pace. A lot of times in events like this, and you know this really well, athletes want to pace it so they can really make the most on what they're strong at. No, you're going hard on the rowing.
And people will want to pace it because of the weight on the barbell. If you look at traditional Jackie, it's a 1,000-meter row. It is 50 thrusters, but with only a 45-pound barbell and then chin over bar pull-ups. So when you look at traditional Jackie, the row was significant as far as time gained on other athletes. But when you add weight to the bar at 95 pounds on the thrusters, you increase the skill level to bar muscle-ups, you would usually back off the pace of the row. Adrian is not having any of that. He's going to make them row at a very strong pace going into a heavier weighted thruster.
Ball maintaining that 135 pace. Athletes will get 1 rep for every calorie that they complete. At the 10 rep mark, they'll get to move on to the 50 thrusters at 95 pounds. Scoop weeks.
The pace you need to hold is somewhere just under 137. When you're using that pace, that middle number is your average 500-meter row pace. So you're essentially doubling that number. The trick is when you're trying to pace on the row, you want to make sure you're always staying under. Not always tipping under slightly, just to be sure. And that's what we're talking about. We're trying to be smart on the road. Your pace is essentially dictated for you. Now, how can you get yourself through this 1,000-meter the easiest way possible before going into those 50 thrusters at 95 pounds?
There's the barbell that awaits after this 1,000-meter row. Guillaume Brion, Jake Crouch, Tim Paulson, Ward. All towards the front. Brion slightly in the lead. That's Jake Crouch. Going at 134.
Usually when we're starting off the 1,000-meter row, we try to be like, hey, I think I have a guess. They're probably going to be off around 310 to 315. That's pretty much a for sure thing now.
Morad, Vigno, Happelainen, Brion, Sinoni, every athlete, as a matter of fact, inside 200 meters to go here.
And hand up, they'll have hand up at the 100-meter mark.
Briand is off. Paulson is done. Jake Crouch finished up. Crouch on the far of your floor looked to the left to see, okay, what's everybody else doing right now?
Resting. That's what they're doing because they had to row a tough 1,000 meters. 3:15 is no easy pace going into this high volume of thrusters.
Every man in this heat onto the barbell now. They'll advance every 10 reps. Paulson and Crouch done first. Briand right behind them. Now Udis made up some time on the barbell.
And it's so wild to see what that fixed, forced pace has done to the pace of this event, because normally if it was just get off the rower as you please, they'd get off not too much slower, but a 5-second difference on a 1,000-meter row is a massive difference as far as the intensity of the row itself. And they'd be attacking these thrusters a bit more aggressively, since they have to row much harder than you normally would if you were to attack this event and say you had your choice. Let's put an emphasis on how tough these thrusters are going to be.
Here are your leaders, Jake Crouch on the left, Tim Paulson on the right. Paulson 24th place overall coming into this event. Has two 8th place finishes so far in the competition. His best finishes here at the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games. Jake Crouch is 27th overall. Alex Vino advancing his barbell as well. Paulson keeps overshooting the stopping point on the barbell.
Tim Paulson got here out of the last chance qualifier. So he barely missed it in the semifinals at Granite Games. Qualified out of that online format that had a 2,000-meter row into a handstand walk. The time frame also dictated the pace at which he had to go.
Paulson into his final set at 10. And then we'll move on to the 30-bar muscle ups. Paulson. Crouch. And Udis in that fight as well. Crouch starting to gain some ground on Paulson. Paulson taking a break. So Jake Crouch is going to be the first man done with his 50 thrusters. Now 30-bar muscle ups. They'll do 20 on one bar and then advance to the final red bar for the final 10 reps. Here comes Tim Paulson and Udis.
And the wild thing about finishing here at the bar muscle-ups is that can be a benchmark test by itself. And you're putting this at the end of the final event after the end of 5 long consecutive days of competition.
Udis is in the lead now as he has yet to take a break on this first set of bar muscle-ups. He's through now 67 of the 90 scored repetitions. Udis has 10 in the books. And he continues to work out through 12. And he will finally take a break through 14 bar muscle. Vino sits in second. He's in 13. Briand and Zanoni. Jake Crouch continuing to work. He is now through 10. Weeks and now Paulson creeping up again as he's back to work.
Check out Andre Udang. He's in lane number 8. look how high he's catching at the top of that. Now, why is that beneficial? Well, you just did 50 thrusters at 95 pounds, which involved pressing from the shoulder, overhead, and completely blowing out your triceps. Normally, when you receive the top of that position, you're in a half-dip position. How high he's receiving at the top of that is a big strength for Ruben. Now he's just got to be able to take a little shorter breaks to see that low catch position and that press out. That is what got passed during those thrusters.
Here are your two leaders, Lucas Upniks and Guillaume Briand. Briand with 4 remaining. Briand now on his final rep, and he will take heat 1. 8:52.79 seconds. Upniks has 4 left. And Alex Vigneault is catching up to him. Vigneault takes a break. He's got 1 left.
You're on to that last set.
Crouch is in, and here comes Vigneault.
In just over 2 minutes.
Tim Paulson is through, and he closes out his CrossFit Games. Here's Enrico Zanoni, the first Italian man to qualify for the CrossFit Games out of regionals or semifinals. 9:45.15 seconds, 10 seconds remain. Morad sneaking in, and Andre Uday is done. Guillaume Briand, 8:52.79 seconds. Lucas Upniks is second in the heat at 9:15.21. Briand leaves the floor with the time to beat. It's Jay Crouch in third, followed by Vigneault and the patron saint of full send, Tim Paulson. 1 heat down, 2 remain. Stay with us, everybody, here at the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games. One heat down, 2 remain for the men here in the final event of the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games inside the Coliseum at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram. Mike Arsenault is down on the competition floor. Event number 13, Jackie Pro.
Gonna beef it up a little bit. It's the CrossFit Games, as they say. We're gonna start with a 1,000-meter row, 50 thrusters at 95 pounds, and 30 bar muscle-ups. But that starting row is dictated to you, as it must be under 3 minutes and 15 seconds for the men. So be smart how you start. You just gotta be right underneath that. No reason to go faster than that. But at the end, whatever you got left, give it.
10 men in this second of 3 heats, and Noah Olson is trying to finish inside the top 10 of the CrossFit Games for now the 8th time in his career.
Noah Olson, it's amazing to say that how long he has been competing in the sport. I almost still see him as that rookie in 2014 when he was trying to push Rich towards the finish in his final individual season.
Noah Olson taking the time to salute the crowd, his 9th career appearance here at the CrossFit Games as an individual. He has only finished outside the top 10 once, and that was in 2015. Start with 1,000-meter row. Guillaume Briand, top time, 8:52.79 seconds.
As we said before, they must finish in 3 minutes and 15 seconds. That's a average of 137.5 500-meter row pace. And that's not an easy row pace to do if you're just doing a 500-meter one-off time trial, let alone double it, or be functional enough to get off the rower and work your way down the floor with those 95-pound thrusters. But at the top, we're saying be smart how you start. You don't have to be much faster than 3:15, and what we saw in Heat 1, everybody got right to that time limit and nobody raced to the barbell. And so what we're seeing is that this row is having a massive impact on how they approach the thrusters. So just get underneath, right underneath that cap of 3:15 and do it the easiest way possible as far as pacing is concerned.
There is Noah Olson. His cheering section is here supporting him. Not only him, but also his dog Maximus.
We're saying now that row pace is faster than most people would start, but probably not Noah. Like, hey, you got to go 3:15. He's like, no problem. That was the plan anyways.
Noah Olson has 2 career event wins. The handstand hold in 2020, the virtual portion of the CrossFit Games that year. But Mary, the event in 2019, his first career event win. Certainly a memorable moment for Noah Olson during his career.
See, Noah's time, his pacing is ticking between 36, 37, and 38. And it's a delicate balance on trying to keep that row pace. Again, 3:15 is a fast 1,000 to start an event.
1 rep for every 100 calories. It's Spencer Panchik and Dallin Pepper, who are slightly in front of the field here. There is Brent Fikowski. Fikowski was finished on the podium last year. Judges' hands starting to go in the air for both Nick Matthews and Lazar Jukic, the 2 of them. Now with about 100 meters to go, it's look at Matthews' monitor. He's inside 100.
And it's tough to judge if you don't have the monitor display that says projected finish. So you're kind of going off on feel, and you got to understand the very part of this, you didn't start at a 137 pace. You started at 0. So you got to row a bit faster over the course of that if you want to hit that time.
Everybody paced that perfectly, 3:15 for just about all of them. So all the men now getting out of the rower and heading to the barbell. Lazar Jukic is going to be the first man to start. Cole Sager and Travis Mayer right behind him. And now Brent Fikowski is getting to work on his 50 thrusters at 95 pounds.
Moving to a thruster off the rower, it's somewhat complementary movement pattern, somewhat redundant. You have that leg drive of the row and the pull on the handle, and here you have a leg drive of the squat and the press overhead. And it's really a really fun collection of movements, because as we go from here, we go to the pull-up bar where you have the bar muscle up. It's the most range of motion of any gymnastics movement from the rig as you can. So a lot of ROM in this event.
Lazar Jukic, Cole Sager, and Travis Mayer, your top 3, trying to chase down Guillaume Briand's time of 8:52.79 seconds. 10-minute time cap here. Lazar Jukic in 11th place overall. Jukic and Sager has a history with some events with thrusters, making a charge late, and some of his heroics at regionals back in the day.
So they call him the comeback kid for a reason. It's always centered around some type of thruster, a sandbag clean, and it's always been a tough finish. With a lot of athletes in this second heat that have, we talk about the old guard of athletes, it's weird to put names like Sager, Mayer, Olson in that category. Brent Fikowski with the likes of Jukic Pepper, George, hand checks.
Sager in the lead now, as he is done with his thrusters. This is a weight belt. When do you think the last time that Cole Sager wore a weight belt for 95-pound thrusters? This shows how beat up these athletes have been over the past 5 days.
It's been a brutal test in the most respective of ways to say it, and that's what it should be. If you're going to make a claim as bold as the fittest man, woman, and team on Earth, the test needs to reflect that claim.
90 scored repetitions here. Lazar Jukic is just a couple of reps ahead of Cole Sager. Travis Mayer and Noah Olson are now on the pull-up ball, while Jonah Koski, Dallin Pepper, and Willie George. Nick Matthews, the last man on his thrusters in the background on the box on the right.
Cole Sager is just ripping off a big set. 20 reps on this first bar. You can see is the red bar on Luka Jukic. They'll finish with 10 at the end.
Jukic with 10 to go, Sager with 10 to go. They'll move to the final red pull-up bar. Jukic on the right side of your screen is to work first. 8:52.79 the time to beat. Jukic is reeling that in quickly. Started now 6 to go for Jukic. Sager back to work.
Sager had to lead with his hands at the top, and at this point he said, whatever you have left, give it. It's over after this. Hang on for one more.
Jukic with 5 remaining, or make it 3 remaining. Sager has 5 remaining. And now Koski's on his final round. And Jukic is across. 7:59.70 seconds. Sager on his final rep. And Sager is done. His 9th appearance at the CrossFit Games. Jonah Koski as the leader on the floor. He's 26 of those 30-bar muscle-ups. Dallin Pepper a couple reps back ahead, as is Noah Olson. Final rep for Koski. He is done. Olson looking to be the next man across the finish line, but Willie George is on his final 2 reps, and George is in. And here comes Noah Olson. 8:44.10 seconds right now, the 5th best time in the event. Dallin Pepper is across the finish line. He was on the right side of your screen. Fikowski, Mayer, who just came in now. Spencer Paget and Nick Matthews, all left on the floor. And the professor is in. Red Fikowski finishing up his 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games. Spencer Paget is across, and Nick Matthews, who had some exciting moments here inside the Coliseum. Think back to the skill speed medley on the opening night when he figured out those double unders with a crossover and got the crowd on its feet. And then last night in the sandbag ladder, probably not the last time we're going to see Nick Matthews at the CrossFit Games. Lazar Jukic has the top time heading into the 3rd and final heat, 7:59.70 seconds. Going over to congratulate Noah Olson. We are down to the final heat, and we will have it for you when we return to the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games. One event from history. The final heat for the men here, and Justin Medeiros is poised to become just the 3rd man to repeat as the fittest man on Earth. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram. Mike Arsenault is down on the competition floor. Overall standings coming in, Justin Medeiros is 35 points clear of Roman Krennikov. Ricky Garrard sits in third. He is 30 points back of Krennikov, 4 seconds. Final event, we're taking the CrossFit benchmark Jackie, and we're up in the difficulty and intensity.
Heard this phrase before. This is the CrossFit Games. And with the caliber of athletes that we have here, it is only appropriate to spice this up a little bit more. It's not your average 1,000-meter row. It has to be under 315. It's 95-pound thrusters instead of 45. It's bar muscle-ups instead of pull-ups. But you have to be smart at the start. You have a fixed pace to row. There's no reason to go faster than that. And if you want to be the reigning, repeating fittest man on earth, you need to do whatever it takes and give whatever you have left to get that spot.
Recipe for Success presented by Trifecta. Here is your start list. Justin Medeiros trying to become just the third man to repeat as CrossFit Games champion. He will be in lane 5. Ricky Garrard and Roman Krennikov trying to figure out where they're going to wind up on the podium. Medeiros needs to finish 9th or better to be crowned the fittest man on earth for the 2nd straight time.
And if it's anything like last year, it was a much closer race. And what did Justin Medeiros do? He went out and he won the whole thing. It was also his first and only win of the weekend, and Justin's still waiting for one of those.
Start with the 1,000-meter row. You have to complete it inside 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
Every single athlete that has done this has finished right on time. When I look at Roman Krennikov on the right, these athletes need an average of 137 pace, but Roman Krennikov has the fastest 1,000-meter row time trial of the group at a 2:48, which is insane. Now, what does that mean? It doesn't necessarily mean he needs to row faster than everyone, but it means a 3:15 for Roman might be the easiest 1,000 against everyone. And that's a big point of contention when we're going into the thrusters coming up after this.
There is Ricky Garrard making his first appearance in the CrossFit Games since 2017. Right now sits in 3rd place. There are 10 reps in this row. The athletes will get a rep for every 100 meters they complete. The number in the white box next to the man's name in red will indicate how many reps that man has completed. The number in the white box next to everyone else's name will indicate how far behind they are of the leaders. So Saxon Panchik in front here on this 1,000-meter row on the back half.
And other athletes that are fighting for positioning, you see Roman sitting at a 135, 136, right underneath the pace you need. You need it to be at a 137 or faster. But look how relaxed he is, how comfortable it is. It's kind of nice when they say, hey, listen, you only need to go 30 seconds slower than your fastest 1,000-meter time you've ever done. That's great for Roman because most of these athletes, after 5 full days of competition, the first time we've ever had 5 consecutive days of competition at the CrossFit Games, is everybody's feeling it. Everybody's tired. You're testing a lot of want to out there. Roman has been wanting to be here for 5 years, and now he has an opportunity not only to hold on to 2nd, but possibly fight for a 1st place position.
Saxon Panchik is your leader. Last year at the CrossFit Games, a career best 5th place finish. This year he currently sits in 9th coming into this final event. There's your overall leader. His judge's hand is in the air, meaning that he is on his final 100 meters. There is the barbell that awaits, 95 pounds, and they have to perform 50 thrusters at that weight.
Now the big sign of who's feeling good is how quick they transition from the rower to the barbell. As we've seen, the last 2 heats, every athlete finish right under 3:15 and take their time to the bar.
And there it is. Krennikov, Quant, Garrard, and Adler moving to the barbell. And here comes Justin Medeiros. Medeiros just has to hang close to Krennikov and Garrard.
Jason Hopper in lane 2 was actually first to start it off, but as you said, they'll all start at the same time, advancing every 10 reps.
50 thrusters here at the 60 rep mark is when they will be done with this portion of the event. Sam Kwan is now your leader through 20 of the 90 scored repetitions in this event. He and Jason Hopper lead here. Hopper's at the top of your screen in the all black. Kwan is in the black shorts, no shirt in the middle of your screen.
Jason Hopper up at the top in lane 2 in all black is no stranger to machine work and heavy thrusters. Last October at the Rogue Invitational, he won the event that had Echo Bike cows and a big sprint to the finish on the barbell. The thing that Roman needs is these guys are great, but he's on the wrong side of them. If he wants a chance to take down Justin, he has to get ahead of him. There's help out there available, but you have to take advantage of it when it's out there for you.
Jason Hopper is through now 30 of those 50 thrusters. He and Kwan advance the barbell along with Pat Veller and Roman Krennikov just slightly ahead of Medeiros. Medeiros ahead of Ricky Garrard. Garrard in the black shorts, no shirt, towards the upper right-hand part of your screen, just dropped the barbell. And Justin Medeiros is starting to pick up the pace on these thrusters.
Look how close it is in the top part of your screen is what rep they're on and how far behind. Everyone within 1 or 2 reps of each other.
Velder, Quant, Krennikov, and Medeiros moving the barbell at the same time. Here come Adler and Hopper towards the top of your screen. Medeiros in the white jersey in the middle of the screen, trying to wrap up the title of Fittest On Earth for the 2nd straight year. 5 reps to go on the thrusters for Medeiros. He is now your leader in the heat. And the crowd rises as Justin Medeiros and Roman Krennikov move to the pull-up bar along with Jason Hopper. There is the Medeiros family, his father and his mother, front row, waiting for their son to cross the finish line. 30 reps here on the bar muscle up. They'll do 20 on the first bar. They will move to that red bar and complete their final 10. Roman Krennikov is in the lead right now, but not enough distance between him and Medeiros at this moment for Krennikov to erase that 35-point deficit.
Finishing on the pull-up bar. Last year there was 90 chest-to-bar pull-ups in the final, and that's where Justin made his move. This guy can hang on to a pull-up bar. I know it's bar muscle-ups, but Medeiros has the stamina to hang with anybody on the ring.
Krennikov knocked out a set of 15 before he took a break. Now Medeiros is back to work. He went through 12. Krennikov with a 2-rep lead over Medeiros now. Medeiros is inching closer. Medeiros is through 17 of the 30. Krennikov is through 19. And there are Justin's parents. Krennikov. They have forgotten to advance.
He has. Krennikov only has 5 reps. He needed to advance to the red pull-up bar, but it's also on the judge to move him there.
Medeiros now has 7 left. He's going to take a break. Krennikov with 1 remaining. Will come across, and it was worth the wait for Justin Medeiros. Taking a break, he's got 1 left. Why does that guy have a mullet? Because he doesn't want his hair getting in his eyes when he's kicking your butt for the 2nd taking a break. We've also got Quant, Adler, and Gudmundsson across the finish line. And there is Ricky Garrard, who is looking like he's going to finish on the podium. So a triumphant return to competition for Ricky Garrard. Second straight time, the crown of Fittest Man on Earth rests on the head of Justin Medeiros. Lazar Jukic is going to hang on for the win. Roman Krennikov will take second in the event and looking like he's going to wind up with a silver medal. Cole Sager in third. And now the two-time Fittest Man on Earth, Justin Medeiros in fourth.
Ricky Garrard coming in third in this. Able to finish, close out a third place position, but Roman Krennikov, welcome to the CrossFit Games. It's been a long time coming. He's earned it 4 times previously, his first time to get here, but Justin Medeiros back to back. But look at this. I hope this is a sight we get to see for years to come with Roman, Ricky, and Justin. What a weekend.
Roman Krennikov has waited a long time for this moment. And he has been in the United States so long that he missed the birth of his son and just got to meet him for the first time getting here to Madison. Let's go down to the competition floor. It is time to officially crown the fittest man on earth, and for that, here's CrossFit's competition director, Adrian Bosman.
Ladies and gentlemen, your reigning, defending, fittest man on earth, Justin Medeiros.
Final event, climb the wall to hug your family.
And hits differently as a dad. What a weekend. What a champion. What great hands the future of the sport is in.
Justin, what an incredible performance, a model of consistency. Every single finish inside the top 20, and you finish the week with 5 consecutive top 5 finishes. Why do you get stronger the deeper we go in competition?
Man, that's what I love for. I mean, the competition weekend is at the CrossFit Games. We have 15 events. I mean, obviously it's fitness, but who can recover and keep performing at their peak performance no matter what comes up. So that's what we train for.
Last year, you were chasing the title. This year, you defended it. How do the two experiences compare?
Man, they're two totally different experiences. I can't explain how different they are, but man, this year, I mean, every competition we do, I mean, me and my team, Adam, Jesse, my whole family, I mean, we always go out and we're gonna die for points. You never know when you're gonna need 3, 4, 5, 6 points. So throughout the whole weekend, you never know when you're gonna need it. So die for points, whether if you're trying to get from 20th to 19th or 1st to 2nd. So.
Justin, congratulations. That's 2 championships in a row, the 3rd man to accomplish that feat. We'll see you here next year. Once again, congratulations.
Awesome, appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Woo!
Justin Medeiros has won the title of Fittest Man on Earth twice, and in those 2 campaigns, he's won 1 event.
And it's a model of consistency. That's the game we play. And as the field advances in ability, the days of winning multiple events may be gone because of how good the field is becoming. And so it's about consistency. And Justin Medeiros is exactly that.
Final standings. In his first in-person appearance at the CrossFit Games, Roman Krennikov will finish in 2nd. Ricky Garrard is on the podium, and how about Sam Quant, who was 2nd back in 2020, missed out on last year, and here he is again inside the top 5. Jeff Adler and Pat Vellner. The future of the sport is in good hands. Justin Medeiros, for the 2nd straight year, is the fittest man on earth. Coming up next, the women take on event 13 here at the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games. We have crowned the fittest man on earth. Now we are getting set to crown the fittest woman on earth. Welcome inside the Coliseum on the campus of the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin, as we close out the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games. Thanks for being with us, everyone. I'm Sean Woodland alongside Chase Ingram and this Nikki Brazier down on the competition floor. And for the first time since 2014, we close out with a benchmark that has been amped up.
Amped up with these professional CrossFitters. We call it Jackie Pro, 1,000-meter row, 50 thrusters at 65 pounds. 30 bar muscle-ups to close out the 2022 CrossFit Games. Be smart how you start. You have to finish under 340 on this 1,000-meter row, and as we saw at the end, give whatever you got left, because after this, it's break time.
10 women in this first of 3 heats. Turi Helgadottir in lane 5 is often the forgotten Icelandic athlete, but she debuted at the CrossFit Games in 2012.
She did, and I remember it vividly because I would butcher her name more than I do most names out here on the competition floor. But Turi is a very, very underrated and underappreciated athlete in total, and definitely one of the daughters we should hold up there in as high regard as anybody else.
We start with that 1,000 meter row, and just like the men, you have to get inside a certain number. That number, 3 minutes and 40 seconds for the women in order to advance to the barbell, and it wasn't a problem for any of the men. It should be a problem for any of these athletes.
You have the average just under a 150 pace. 150 will get you there, but if you're 1 second off, that clock is going to exactly show what the time is, because it is counting down from 1,000. So making sure that monitor reads something 140 without cutting it too close.
One rep for every 100 meters completed. Pulling in about a 150 pace.
Now that pace is that's your average 500 meter row pace. It's basically your speedometer on the Concept 2 rower. Double that. That's right at the pace you need to be a 340 to 150 per 500 you have to hold to make that time cap.
Alex Gazan making her first appearance here at the CrossFit Games.
And this twist provides a unique element to this, because it's not often you see people rowing the opening 1,000 at a pace that's uncomfortable. What Gazan is doing is that she's doing a great job of staying relaxed. And that's what you need for this first 1,000. However, you can't stay too relaxed, as you might miss that time cap, but that's what we're saying is being smart at the start. There's no bonus points for getting faster than the 340. We saw it from the men. They rode it right to that line, and they all got off the rower at the same time.
Look at Bailey Rail. Rail in her second individual appearance at the CrossFit Games. She has competed here before on a team starting in 2017 and again in 2018 with CrossFit 417. She was 18 in 2021. Sungyeon Choi, Carolyn Prevost, Paige Powers, Fusile, Sarah Kaya, all on the lead paces. There's a packed house here at the Alliant Energy Center as we get set to crown the fittest woman on earth. Sarah Kaya. Another one of the rookies we have in the field here. Judges' hands starting to go in the air here. As all the athletes are inside their final 100 meters. And there is Turi Helgadottir, who has gotten through this. 340 is when they all have to be done.
340 is not a slow row by any stretch.
3 seconds to go before we hit that.
Some of these athletes are having to basically do a time trial effort just to get underneath that, and it looks like Helgadottir and Fusile did not hit the mark.
Turi Helgadottir was pulling for all she was worth and just could not get in, and neither could Rebecca Fusile. Karen Freyova, who is in the lead now, the athletes who advanced that 65-pound barbell every 10 reps, 50 reps into the complete here. Freova threw now 13 of those. It's top three are on the screen. Freova, Gazan, and Christine Kohlenbrander on the far right. Past the 5-minute mark, an 11-minute time gap for the women. It was 10 minutes for the men.
Some of it has to do with the distance on the row. What I like that they have at the end of this set, they're keeping the volume of the bar muscle-ups. And that's out of respect and necessity of how good these athletes have come over the last few years. Traditionally in the past, you'd probably see something like a 30 and 20 or a 30 and 25. And what we've seen this weekend is a lot of even numbers between the men and the women, and they're stepping up and delivering.
Freova back to work. She's through 30 of these 50 reps. Kohlenbrander and Gazan are there with her. There's Turi Helgadottir, who along with Rebecca Fuselier did not complete that 1,000-meter row inside the 3-minute 40 cap. Freova through 40 reps. Kohlenbrander's done. Paige Powers and Carolyn Prevost are moving up as well.
Now, a lot of times when you combine thrusters with any type of gymnastics pull, obviously there's some Fran elements when it comes to that, a little squat push and a pull on the rig. What you'll tell your athletes is put a lot into the legs. Put as much into your legs as you can. The problem is they had to row so hard. It's a lot easier said than done.
Freova back in the lead, but just barely as Paige Powers on the far end of the floor. She's in the green shorts on the left side of your screen. They're starting to creep up. Freova, Kohlenbrander, Prevost, Powers, and Gazan all done. Now they'll start their 30-bar muscle-ups, 20 on the first bar, and then a final 10 on the red bar.
Freova catching right above 90 at the top of that dip. And if you can get a little higher, the massive benefit after everything that they've gone through so far, those 50 thrusters are going to take a lot out of that press out at the top. So if you can catch higher, on the right side of your screen, Kohlenbrander is doing just that.
Freova in the lead, she's through 11 of those 30. Powers and Prevost sitting in second place.
Trying to catch up. Paige Powers holding on as she's
Freova back to work as Powers is creeping up on her. Freova back in the lead here by 3 reps over Paige. Alice Gazan, Kohlenbrander, and Prevost in the top 5 right now as we are in the final stages of this opening heat of the 13th and final event for the women. Freova, 22nd place overall. Her 3rd individual appearance at the CrossFit Games, the 14th in 2020. Does have a Games event win under her belt in 2020. In the virtual portion of the CrossFit Games that year, she won the 1,000-meter row.
I talked about that with Roman Krenikov in the final of the men's heat, is that if you can pace that row perfectly, it's massively beneficial to the rest of your event coming into the thrusters, where we saw a lot of athletes in this heat. That was a massive part of this event, almost near max effort to get underneath that time frame of 340.
Final rep for Cara Freova, and she is across. minutes, 31.77 seconds. Paige Powers looking to wrap up second place. She's got 3 reps left. Carolyn Prevo has 4. Gazan now has 5 remaining. Final rep for Powers. 9:55.34 for Powers. Carolyn Prevo looks to be the next woman across the finish line. She's a couple reps ahead of Christine Kohlenbrander. And there goes Prevo. Alex Gazan is done. There's Christine Kohlenbrander who's through. "30 seconds to go before we hit the 11-minute time cap. There's Sung Young Choi who is through. Sayer Kaya has 1 rep remaining. Kaya's across the finish line. A Bailey Rail. Looks like she's going to come up short. It's Karen Freyova, 9:31.77 seconds, the top time with 2 heats remaining. 2 rookies inside the top 5 as Paige Powers and Alex Gazan get across the finish line, and then it's Prevo and Kohlenbrander, the other 2 athletes in the top 5 in heat number 1. 2 more heats remain here of the final event for the women. Stay with us, everybody. 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games continue. Individual competition at the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games inches closer to a conclusion. Just 2 heats remain for the women here inside the Coliseum at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram. Nikki Brazier is down on the competition floor. And for the first time in a long time, we close out with a spin on a CrossFit benchmark.
It's funny, this is event 13. It was in 2013 when Jackie first got unveiled on the competition scene at regionals. Same rep scheme, but different movements. 1,000-meter row with a time check. Thrusters with weight, 65 pounds for the women, and chin over bar pull-ups have now been leveled up to bar muscle-ups. Be smart how you start. You must row faster than a 340. Beyond that, just try to get there as easy as you can. And as we get to the end, whatever you have left, give it. There's nothing, no more surprises after this.
10 women in the second of 3 heats, and it's Haley Adams in lane 5 who fell out of the top 10 in that last event, now 11th overall.
Haley Adams wore the leader jersey for a day, and she's had a tough 4 events, 21st, 32nd, 23rd, 26th. But this is her opportunity to not just get inside the top 10, but Sean, she's only 17 points out of 7th place, which is Ariel Lowen.
Start with a 1,000-meter row in 3 minutes and 40 seconds. That is when they need to be done with the entirety of the work here on the rower. They will receive 1 rep for every 100 meters that they complete. There are 90 total scored repetitions in the event.
Get a view of the intensity these athletes are having to row at to make sure they get underneath that 340 time. That is a fast time for these athletes. To average below a 150 pace. Haley Adams sitting at 147. That's her average 500-meter row pace. So she can hold that, she'll be just fine. The challenge is that balance of pushing the pace a little bit too hard for fear of the time cap and maybe blowing up before you get to the thrusters. So you got to make sure you can dial that in as close to the cut line time as possible.
There's Amanda Barnhart. We only saw 2 women in heat number 1 not be able to get in inside that 3-minute 40 cap.
And when you think about that, Sean, is on the men's side we had none. And so to see that maybe for the first time starts the nerves up again. You think it's like, okay, the time cap's good, they've all made it. And then when you see the first one go, you're like, oh, this might be a faster pace or a tougher time to get than I'd planned.
Danny Spiegel, who's had a great day so far. Really had a marquee performance on Saturday night in the sandbag ladder.
148 for Spiegel, flirting with 149. You don't know exactly what your time is going to be. You can only guess based off what your average row pace, but that's exactly what it is. It's an average. It's not an exact, because when you start the rower, those first 5 pulls, you see 3 minutes, 240, 220, 2 minutes before you even get there. That time does accumulate in the beginning, so you can't just sit at a 150 from the start. You have to dip below about 48 if you want to be comfortable getting underneath that 340 time. As you see O'Connell, I mean, that's a near max effort just to get off the rower, let alone do thrusters afterwards.
Rowing at a 148 pace, we talk a lot about youth in this competition. Chrissy O'Connell is the oldest woman in the field at 33 years old, making her 6th individual appearance at the CrossFit Games. With 340 hits, it looks like every woman did get through. Now they will move to the barbell, 65 pounds, 50 thrusters. Ellie Turner gets right to work along with Lucy Campbell, Danny Spiegel, Haley Adams, and Amanda Barnhart on the barbell. Ellie Turner at the top of your screen in the gray pants is ripping through these.
We saw what Ellie Turner did with the wall ball shots yesterday in Patrick. Now it's a 14-pound ball, which to an 11-foot target. And the rebound power that she has at the bottom of the squat, really not matched by any. That spring load at the bottom. See, other athletes will just kind of squat to depth, hope that they get it, and then stand up all the way. Turner is just bouncing right out of the bottom of that squat.
She's now through 20 of those 50 thrusters. Turner's in the lead. Lucy Campbell and Haley Adams right behind her. Campbell's at the bottom in the black pants and Haley Adams in the middle. 90 total scored repetitions here. Lucy Campbell, who won rinse and repeat on Saturday morning to kick off her weekend.
Turner having a great set of thrusters. She also had the fastest row in the field at 338.1.
Haley Adams, who, as you heard Chase say, is close to getting inside the top 7.
Which is wild to think she's in 11th. 7th place is only 17 points away, and this is a decent event for Haley Adams. She's had a tough 4 events in a row, everything being outside the top 20, 1 outside the top 30. He was wearing the leader jersey after day 1 of competition.
Turner, Adams, and Campbell all in the lead. Danny Spiegel now sits in 4th, followed by Amanda Barnhart. At the 60 rep mark, they will move on to the pull-ups, the pull-up bars, and do these 30 bar muscle ups.
What's big for Haley is always been right around top 6, top 5, top 10. It'll speak volumes if she can get back up into that. The tough part is that the next heat gets to see exactly what she's doing.
Campbell, Adams, and Turner all to their bar muscle ups at the same time. It's going to be Lucy Campbell on the far right who starts first. They'll do 20 on that black pull-up bar, then they'll move forward to complete their final 10 on the red.
Haley Adams excels in high-intensity events, work capacity, high-volume gymnastics.
She is 12 of her 30 and in the lead, but now Lucy Campbell has caught her. Ellie Turner falling off the lead pace. She's only been 8. Jacqueline Dahlstrom is on to the bar muscle up as well. And Danny Spiegel's getting started. Campbell now in front. She's through 19 of the 30. Adams 3 reps back. It's Ellie Turner in third. Campbell has now moved to the red pull-up bar for her final 10. She is on the right side of your screen, now middle. Rafaela at the top time, 9:31.77 seconds. Campbell has 5 reps to go.
It's getting close. Gotta hang on.
Campbell is through. New top time. 8:29.53 seconds. Haley Adams is 4 reps away from finishing up.
We're saying, if you got anything left, give it. Those last 3 reps, as far as confidence in getting them, all looked like a little maybe every time she threw herself up there, but she was able to hang on.
Adams with the final rep, and now she is across, and Haley Adams has the second best time in the event right now at 8:56.87 seconds. Jacqueline Dahlstrom with 5 reps to go. Ellie Turner has 7 remaining. Seconds, 3rd place in the heat, 3rd place in the event.
Number 2. And there she goes. She's trying to get 5 and the next one.
11-minute time gap in the event. And Turner is now 1 rep away. Just can't get through it. Matilda Garnes continues to work. Garnes is now on her final rep. There goes Turner. Garnes across as well. Now Danny Spiegel is through. 3 women remain, O'Connell, Semenza, and Barnhart. And we have now 30 seconds to go before we hit the 11-minute time cap. Christy O'Connell finishing up. 3 reps for both Semenza and Barnhart remain. Barnhart's going to take a break. And Semenza gets through. Final 10 seconds, Barnhart. That's her last rep. And she is done. So every woman in heat number 2 gets inside the 11-minute time cap. And we have 1 heat to go. Thank you, Brent. It is going to be a coronation for the greatest of all time. Tia Toomey on the precipice of becoming the 6th time fittest woman on earth. here inside the Coliseum at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram. Nikki Brazier is down on the competition floor. Overall standings, Tia Toomey has a 141-point lead on Mal O'Brien. Laura Horvath is now inside the top 3 and will have to hold off Danielle Brandon and Brooke Wells. But there is Tia Toomey, soon to be 6-time fittest woman on earth. Event 13. It's a classic CrossFit benchmark that we all do in the gym, but for these athletes, we've amped it up.
We've amped it up in a big way. 1,000-meter row, but you must finish under 3 minutes and 40 seconds. 50 thrusters at 65 pounds and 30 bar muscle-ups. The time is fixed. You need to play it smart at the beginning. There's no bonus points for finishing faster, but you are cut from the competition here in the final event and not allowed to advance if you are slower. And in the end, it's gonna come down to some tight races outside of first. Whatever you have left at the end, you're gonna need to give it.
Still plenty on the line here. Laura Horvath in lane 4, trying to hold off Danielle Brandon in lane 7 and Brooke Wells in lane number 3.
Laura Horvath, a day ago, was in 15th place. Has won back-to-back events to get herself all the way up into 3rd. Now Danielle Brandon is in 4th. She's over 30 points out. Another athlete to look for is gonna be Brooke Wells. Brooke Wells, who's sitting in lane number 3, who last year had to be carried off the competition floor with a devastating elbow injury in the middle of the competition, who was poised for one of her best finishes in her career. In 5th place overall, she's tied for her best finish after recovering from that. And she is just a handful of points behind Danielle Brandon for possibly having the greatest finish of her CrossFit career.
Incredible comeback for Brooke Wells. 1 rep will be given for every 100 meters that these athletes complete. The number in the white box next to the woman's name in red will indicate how many repetitions that woman has completed. The number in the white box next to everybody else will indicate the tide or how far behind they are of the leader. There are 90 total scored repetitions in this event. Toomey pulling at about a 147 pace.
That's all she needs to be doing. You got to stay under 150 if you want to get underneath the 340 mark. That pace you see is basically the speedometer for this Concept 2 skier. You have to average a 150 500-meter row pace. So if you double it, that's your 340 time. What we've seen so far as this time matters significantly for the women's competition. We've seen athletes already get capped at this point, so there is no room to take off if they want to get through this. On the flip side, you can't put yourself in too big of a hole that you can't even finish the event. But when you look at machines and grunt work, and what we've seen from Laura Horvath over the extent of her career is that it shapes up very well for her to possibly hold on to that 3rd place position. But Emma Lawson, we haven't talked about her. She's 17. She also wore the leader jersey at one point in time in this competition. This is her rookie debut as an individual. She still has an opportunity to get a top 5 finish as well.
Emma Lawson continuing to work on her 1,000-meter row. Laura Horvath is slightly ahead of everyone else. 700 meters and counting here.
The question is, how easy can you make a 340,000-meter row? The answer is not easy for us humans. But as we said before, these are the fittest athletes in the world. Your top 10 after 12 events. Laura Horvath, 150 is the pace, but what she's done up to this point, at a 125 left to go, she should be right underneath the time that she needs to get.
Everyone inside their final 100 meters here, and then they will move to the 65-pound barbell and complete 50 thrusters, advancing down the floor after every 10 repetitions. There is Tia Toomey's family. They are here together for the first time to watch her compete. Her husband and coach Shane Orr is the man in the black hair. He's second in from the camera. Now Laura Horvath, Mal O'Brien, and Danielle Brandon, along with Tia Toomey, moving to the barbell. Laura Horvath getting right to work. She is not going to give anyone a chance to take away a podium finish from her.
Laura Horvath is the first athlete, male or female, to finish under the cap and walk straight to the bar and pick it up.
50 reps they need to complete here. At the 60 rep mark is when they will start the bar muscle up. And Laura Horvath is already through her first 10, as is Mal O'Brien.
Mal O'Brien in second overall. Clear by about 60 points from Laura Horvath. But Horvath has done so much work to get here. He said she won the opening 2 events today. She got third last night in the sandbag clean. She has had to make up an almost insurmountable amount of points in a matter of 3 events, with 1 more to go.
Laura Horvath is now through 25. She is halfway through the set of 50 here that she needs to complete. Here comes Tia Toomey. Mal O'Brien in the gray top and black shorts is looking to become the youngest woman to ever finish on the podium at the CrossFit Games, and Tia Toomey taking some time to just soak this moment in. As she works through these 50 thrusters. Laura Horvath continues to lead. She is through 40 of the 50 reps.
To explain the dominance we've seen by Tia Toomey, she could have just stayed on the rower and not even started the event, and she still would have won it.
That is something we have gotten used to here at the CrossFit Games. Toomey often having the championship wrapped up before she even takes the floor for the final event. Laura Horvath on the left side of your screen in the all black has now 1 rep remaining. So Horvath is through, and she is dominating here on Sunday. Horvath to the 30 bar muscle ups. Toomey into her final set of 10 thrusters. 8:29.53 is the time to beat, belongs to Lucy Campbell. Horvath is through 5 of those 30 bar muscle ups. Here goes Tia Toomey on her final set of 10. Horvath continues to work. She's through 10 of the 30. She's not taking a break. But now she finally does after 11.
They have to do 20 bar muscle-ups on the gray bars. They can choose either which one they want. One's a little bit shorter than the other. They'll finish on the red bar for their final set of 10.
Here comes Tia Toomey to the rig. Laura Horvath, though, is now through 12 and counting. Looking to finish on the podium for the 3rd time in her career.
Horvath is very underrated when it comes to high volume pulling gymnastics. That background in rock climbing with grip strength and arm pulling stamina is some of the top in the field.
Tia Toomey through 7 reps, and she's taking a break. I think that's Horvath is 10 away from possibly winning this event. She's got to hurry.
Mal O'Brien's creeping up, as well as Clara Saunders.
Horvath back on the pull-up bar for her final 10 reps. And looks like Lucy Campbell has a shot here of picking up her second event win of the competition. She put up that time in heat number 2.
Oh, Horvath is, she's gonna take a break. I was wondering if she was gonna go 3 for 3 here.
Mara Saunders and Mal O'Brien now are catching her. Saunders has moved into the lead in the heat. Mara Saunders is through, so she will take the heat. Laura Horvath continues to work. Horvath won a challenge on Sunday, and she may wind up on the podium. Tia Toomey has 10 reps remaining. She's on to the pull-up bar for the final time as Mal O'Brien is across, and she can wind up in second place overall. And here goes Tia Toomey. Final set of 10. Now, it has been said that behind every great man is a greater woman. And now there are 2 great men behind the greatest woman. Tia Toomey, as her family looks on. Getting back to work. Move over Matt. Step aside Rich. For the 6th time. And for the final time, Tia Toomey is the fittest woman on earth. Wondering why Tia Toomey took her time and soaked it in? This is it. She is planning to retire after the CrossFit Games. Best Australian athletes to ever take the competition for the CrossFit Games. Scotty Saunders, Tara's daughter.
Tia, 6 times. It has never been done before, and the look on your face during those last few reps seemed like you were really soaking it in. What is going through your mind at this moment?
Well, that was an interesting week. But, you know, I dedicate so much of my time to this sport, and just to be able to showcase my hard work, what my team and I have been able to do all the season long, even years before this season, to stand out in front of such an incredible community and crowd. And yeah. And to really take advantage of what the CrossFit Games, what CrossFit as a sport has to offer for us, and really showcase what, you know, us athletes are really capable of, both men, women, all the age group divisions, teams, and the adaptive. You know, we are all pretty incredible, and so it's just so awesome.
After a finish like that, we have to know, do you come back one more time, or is this the end?
That's the question. We'll see.
Congratulations, Tia. Incredible job.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
And now,
Champion in every sense of the word. And embracing Brooke Wells, who, what a comeback for her. The reign started in 2017. It lasts 6 years through 2022. As Laura Horvath and 18-year-old Mal O'Brien will join Tia Toomey on the podium. We will crown the fittest affiliate coming up here in a little bit. Stay with us, everybody. You can head to games.crossfit.com for official results, standings, and more. Tia Toomey, the 6-time fittest woman on earth.